for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Researchers at Princeton University's Department of Sociology have made a major leap in our understanding of social interaction.
We conducted trials in 90 supermarkets across the country and found that essentially 100% of people disapproved of having a stranger hit them across the face and then expose their genitalia right in the middle of the supermarket, which we found very interesting.
Researchers observed similar reactions when the subject hurled shopping carts toward unsuspecting shoppers, stood in the deli section rubbing cold cuts against his chest, or got right near cashier's ears and began loudly singing Yankee Doodle.
In this particular trial, we had our subject, Kevin, take off his shirt, tape a banana to his forehead, and charge at various shoppers like he was a rhino. Within 20 minutes, store owners called the police and he was arrested, allowing us to come to the conclusion that this type of behavior is still considered at least somewhat taboo.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live. The live call-in show where you can take control of the radio, talk about anything you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. And tonight, we have a couple of things that I want to talk about. We did an article last Monday where we talked about a judge's family that was shot. The son was killed, and the husband of this judge, the judge being a female, not that that's important, was shot, but he apparently recovered. When we did the article, there was no connection to really anything. It was just like, oh, this weird FedEx uniformed guy showed up and, shot these two people at this judge's house, and then they found this, costumed FedEx person in a car, apparently dead of self-inflicted gun wounds, and that was kind of it. We were like, it was breaking news. We didn't have a lot of detail and that kind of thing. We have more details. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Amazing details.
Well, significant details. Anyway, I have something else that I brought in today. Something else that I brought in today that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is how, you know, how government always sort of serves you up a crap sandwich.
Eat it, boy.
Yeah. Well, I have a story about
And pay for it.
I have a story about a time when government had, because of their rules and regulations, had their hand in the creation of possibly the world's worst sandwich being served at many a alcohol establishment. And we could talk about that. And then also, to highlight today, I've named the show The Weird Algorithm. And we'll talk a little bit more about what a weird algorithm is and how it was invented and what it does and why does it even pertain to freedom at all. But our toll-free number, of course, is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. You could call in and talk about any of these things or whatever's on your mind. Just try to be interesting. That's all we ask here on Free Talk Live. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the Captain Kickass.
It's Ian.
And the nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
I don't think I've ever put "the" in front of my name until just now, so we'll see. We'll see how that flies with the listening audience. Probably not very well.
Well, not that you let him.
I didn't say
know
"the." I
you
said
were,
"the." I'm not like I'm
concerned
the Captain Kickass, right? I said I'm the Captain
I'm the
Kickass.
captain.
Please bring me my wine. Wait, no.
Yes, that's the one.
Anyway,
No, that's not the one.
no, it's not the one.
The one you were singing just now is not the Please Bring Me My Wine.
Oh, right.
Captain.
Yeah, one's from the Eagles.
no.
The other one's I can't remember the artist.
But there is something about wine in that
Please
one too.
bring me my ship. Right, that's the one. But who is that? Who's the artist?
Is that the line in that song?
Yeah, I'm your captain.
Yeah.
I'm your captain. Please bring me.
Please
my
return
ship.
me my
Return
ship.
to me. That's what it is. That's
I'm
what
thinking. I'm
mute
confusing.
me.
Bring me my wine.
Bring me my wine,
With return me to my ship. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact,
All
if you
things
could
should be
do
done.
both,
Yeah.
right? Please bring me my wine and return me to my ship, because at times I want off this planet so badly.
Oh, it's so bad these days.
We could talk about masks, of course. That seems to be a popular topic amongst
Walmart's
the media.
backing down.
I heard Walmart and Home Depot are saying, "Oh, we're not gonna enforce our thing that we said we were gonna."
Grand Funk.
Yeah, it is GFR.
Closer to home.
Yes.
Or in parentheses, I'm your captain.
There's
I
a
love
few.
Grand Funk.
What's with the ship songs and the repetitiveness? Because you got Grand Funk here with the very end. It's "I'm getting closer to my home." He repeats that like, I don't know, looks like
300
2 times at least. I'm looking at the lyrics. And then you got "Come Sail Away" by Styx.
You got time for that when you're
Come sail away,
yeah,
come
yeah.
sail away,
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Yep.
So, generally speaking, the general public, they kind of need some repetition to get the point to hit home, right? What's the name of that song? "Come Sail Away," right?
Yep, that's right.
So
they will hammer that one in.
When when McDonald's wants you to remember the McDouble, what do? They put it in all of their ads, and they say it 7,000 times.
Two
McDouble,
all-beef
McDouble,
patties,
McDouble.
special sauce, lettuce, cheese,
pickles, onions.
pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Right,
Yeah.
Repetitive, is good for advertising.
Picky people pick Peter Pan peanut butter because it's the peanut butter picky people pick.
You want to keep hitting people with the message over and over again. I mean, we do that here on Free Talk Live, and we do it pretty well, I think.
We do, as does, most media.
Right.
I think we actually do it a little less than other media outlets do, but that's because we're trying to be courteous to our awesome listeners.
I still like Brandy. That's my favorite Sea song.
Brandy?
Looking Glass, Brandy. Brandy, you're a fine girl.
Oh.
What a good wife.
Did you know the Barry Manilow song "Mandy" was originally written as Brandy?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
No.
it was a song. It was an ode. It was a love song either way. It was either the love of Brandy, the drink, or the love of Brandy, the girl. And so Barry Manilow was like, "Yeah, I don't think that'll be a hit. I'm going to change it to Mandy."
Okay.
And so
And it was.
And then Mary. I always wanted a Barry Manilow cover band to be named Mary Banilow.
Captain AC Trivia.
But speaking of comedy, and since this title or the show is titled "Weird Algorithm," we'll just start. This is from BusinessInsider.com. A researcher created a weird AI Yankovic algorithm that generates parodies of existing songs And now the record industry is accusing him of copyright violations. So somebody wrote a program, arguably a computer program, piece of software that takes lyrics from existing songs and generates parodies of them. And of course, now the record industry is like, oh, we can't have that. That's a violation of copyright. Now,
Which, of course, parody is definitively not.
That's
because
right.
copyright
correct.
has a parody exception that you can drive a truck through.
right, it's called fair use.
Right.
Fair use applies to education, satire, comedy, parody, news, these types of things. However, that being said, a researcher has created this algorithm that uses artificial intelligence to create new lyrics that match the rhyme and syllable schemes of existing songs.
It's pretty impressive
Yeah.
if it works.
Although if it's an artificial intelligence, then they should be suing the artificial intelligence, not the man.
Correct.
Just as soon as they prove they have jurisdiction over it.
Right. Which, of course, they can't. Now, as a parody artist,
LCaptainKickass.com.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a website, lcaptainkickass.com, if you want to hear some of my parodies. As a parody artist, I know full well about fair use, and when I would put out a video or something, I would put the little quote about the fair use from the actual law. I can't remember what the actual law is. I put that in front of everything I did. People in the comment sections of whatever I released would always say, oh, you're going to get sued. How dare you, blah, 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 right?
Didn't happen, though, did it?
Weird Al is a star for this reason. Amongst others, he actually asks the artists for permission, and if they turn him down, he doesn't make them. It's a courtesy that he does. He didn't do that all of the time. In fact, he did not ask permission of Queen to do another one, Rides the Bus, when
I
he
love
did
that
it.
song.
But it's one of his greatest and most well-known parodies.
And there was another song that they were actually upset at him about, which is he misunderstood the answer
Right.
when he asked for permission to do Gangster Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
Amish Paradise.
Yeah. It is my favorite
Yeah.
Weird Al song.
And
I believe.
Coolio, I guess, was mad at him. But I don't know if he's gotten over
But he
it
doesn't
now.
legally. He doesn't need to do that, and this is evidenced by there are literally thousands of unknown parody artists in the world.
Toiling away
in obscurity. Occasionally, they'll make a parody that sort of gets some play or some viral
Some morning show will play it or
aptitude,
whatever.
right. And maybe they'll get some infamy out of the thing, but. Yeah, we'll talk more about how this artificial intelligence or weird AI.
Are we going to get some samples
algorithm-
too? Are there samples?
I don't know, but we'll certainly
We're
look
gonna
into
find
it.
out.
We've got more of this, plus your calls and your thoughts. 855-450 free. Free Talk Live. More coming up.
News from news.bitcoin.com. Another 83 tons in fake gold found in China. Crypto still much harder to counterfeit. Host Stefan Molyneux banned from YouTube. Receives $100,000 in crypto donations afterward. Reporters uncover $11 trillion in offshore government-sanctioned bank accounts. Bitcoin Cash still potentially private and unconfiscatable. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies. Getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils, plus a hint of menthol, was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You are in the right place for the Monday night edition featuring me, your host, Captain Kickass, and in the studio with me tonight it's
Ian.
And Nobody.
And we have been talking a little bit about this article from Business Insider where a researcher has created an algorithm that uses artificial intelligence to create new lyrics that match the rhyme and syllable schemes of existing songs. You know, like Weird Al does, or like I do over at lcaptainkickass.com. And we can talk more about that in moments. Our toll-free number here, if you want to talk to us, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can also get us on discord.lrn.fm. When you log in, if you just pop over to one of the on-air call-in lines and let us know you're there that way, you can sound almost as if you're here in the studio with us. So we've got that available for you. And there's a bunch of chat always going on, a lively bunch of folks over there in the chat rooms, always keeping the party alive. And I mean always, like anytime, day or night. It could be like Tuesday at 2 a.m. and there's people in there going on. So if you like having fun, that's where you got to go. But before we go on about this weird AI Yankovic algorithm, let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We have Nicholas calling from Nevada. Nicholas, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I want to talk about the dude, like, yesterday here, like, yeah.
What dude yesterday?
Yeah, what dude yesterday? I wasn't here yesterday. In fact,
3 different hosts, so you're going to have to give us a
Plus, many of our
recap.
listeners weren't here either, so...
You're free to talk about it. Just tell us what you want to talk about.
Well, there's this guy yesterday, and he was really funny.
Okay.
This is got a meaningful phone call.
And then what happened?
And then
Could you
was
vague
like,
that up for us a little?
Go on.
Huh?
Go on. He was what?
And the F-bomb's coming when?
He was
We're waiting for it.
He was talking about something.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Goodbye.
right. Well,
Pretty lame.
Thanks for the interesting call.
Almost worth dumping. That was so bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Nicholas, you didn't meet the one criteria that I set forth at the top of the show, which is try and be interesting.
I used to have a sign up in the place where I sold weed that said, "Welcome to riches. Please be interesting, be profitable, or be brief."
All right. So Mark Rydell, a researcher at Georgia Tech, he told Vice that he created his Weird AI Yankovic algorithm as a personal project. The algorithm's name is inspired by the parody singer Weird Al Yankovic, who does something similar, taking existing songs, creating his own spin-off version with new lyrics. One of his most popular parodies is White and Nerdy, a take on Ridin' by rappers Chameleonaire and Crazel Bone. As Vice notes, however, Yankovic reportedly asks the original artist for permission before creating his parody of a given song. Rydell does not, and it's landed him in hot water. Now,
that's because the average person can't just call up Coolio and ask him a question. I suspect it's a little easier if you're already an accomplished musician to say, hey, have your people get in touch with Coolio's people, and then, it happens.
Hey, Coolio, Weird Al's on the phone. Really? Let me have that call, right? Yeah, also, this particular author,
but if it's Strange Dan, not so likely.
Right. Right. This particular author also has not done the research on the law. If he did or she, they would have realized before writing this article that fair use does apply. But anyway, Rydell posted a video on Twitter on May 15th with AI-generated lyrics and the instrumental part of Michael Jackson's Beat It. On July 14th, Twitter took it down after the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, a coalition of some of the record industry's biggest companies.
I've never heard of that group.
I mean, me neither.
You're a music guy and you've never heard of that
It's
group.
the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry.
I've heard of
IFPI.
ASCAP. I've heard of BMI. I've heard of, other groups.
There's all sorts of musicians unions.
RIAA.
The RIAA is the big one, the Recording Industry Association of America.
PMCA.
But how many kids out there know what a phonograph is? I mean, that gives you some idea of how old that group is. When was this founded? What was it? The what phonograph? What?
It was the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry. It claims to be, in this article, a coalition.
Is there a phonographic industry anymore? I mean,
I know there's a pornographic industry, but I don't know about a phonographic industry.
Yeah.
Founded in 1933.
I guess you can still buy a phonograph if you try.
I moved recently, so I must have lost my phonograph in the move.
Oh, and it's global. It's actually, this isn't a U.S.-based one. This
international, it says, right in the title.
Yeah. It's based out of London.
Kind of like the International House of Pancakes, because maybe they have one location in
somewhere
like
else.
Canada or something, right? At any rate, this coalition submitted copyright takedown notice to Twitter per the report. Coincidentally, Weird Al Yankovic, the parody singer, also created a version of the same hit track entitled Eat It in 1984. Other similar AI-generated videos that Rydell posted to Twitter have stayed up, like a spin-off of Sam Smith's and Normani's Dancing with a Stranger. I don't know that song. I'm old,
neither.
though. Rydell told the outlet he thinks his videos are protected by fair use. Yes, they are, which is a loophole. It's not a loophole in copyright laws that allow people to use copyrighted work without obtaining permission beforehand in certain circumstances.
When you say it's not a loophole, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, it's written right in there. So, like a loophole is something that isn't written right in directly in your face in black and white that you sort of use to circumvent a law. Whereas the law very specifically states that fair use applies to satire, comedy, education, news, right, that kind of thing. That's why you can watch highlights of like a football game on the evening news because they don't have to petition for copyright from the NFL.
On it,
right,
news.
They can commentary, social commentary is another fair use act in the fair use law. Now, this is United States copyright law, and I only say this because I'm very familiar with this kind of thing. At any rate, the doctrine covers parody work amongst other stipulations. He says, I would argue that my system is generating parody lyrics and that I do not require permission from the copyright holder to publish parody content.
He said he hadn't heard back from Twitter, though, I guess, about this.
That is correct.
Yeah.
He says, I am not a lawyer, however, and he spoke with Casey Fleischer, an information science professor at the University of Colorado Boulder, who agreed that Rydell's video should be protected under fair use, and I agree as well. As Vice explores, this debacle has raised a host of questions pertaining to the intersection of technology and copyright usage, including how algorithm-generated work should be contextualized under fair use and how copyright laws should or could evolve to adapt to the advancements in technology like AI.
Well, they're terrible at that. I mean, they're terrible at actually like evolving. I think to use the word evolve with the whole government system is pretty laughable.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
They don't change, and they don't change quickly, and usually when they change, it's not for the better.
Yeah, this copyright law, this fair use portion of copyright law has been in effect for, I think, longer than I've been alive. So it was there, and it hasn't changed at all. It's never been amended. It's never been added to, anything like that. So
all the works of Shakespeare were written without benefit of copyright.
Indeed. 855-450, free like freedom. 855-450-3733. We've got more Free Talk Live coming up.
Ancestry, the global leader in family history and consumer genomics, released results of a survey commissioned to understand how consumers viewed their health risks during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to results, almost half of all Americans and nearly 50% of parents said the COVID-19 pandemic has increased their interest in understanding their possible genetic health risks. Dr. Ron Park, Executive Vice President of Health and DNA at Ancestry.
The COVID-19 pandemic has made clear to many people the importance of taking proactive actions to protect their health and their family's health. The survey shows that this applies to not only concerns specific to COVID-19, but also other health issues such as genetic risks.
Ancestry Health, launched last year to increase access to personalized preventive health care, will soon be powered by next-generation sequencing, an advanced technology that provides a comprehensive analysis of inherited health risks. Visit Ancestry.com/health.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is
You ain't gonna make it.
wait on account. Now. Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Bibbidi bobbidi, bibbidi boobidi, bibbidi babbidi bobbidi.
That's easy for you to say.
It was easier than some of the things I say at some time. So, but this is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733 is our toll-free number. You can take control of the airwaves and talk about whatever you like. And I wanted to talk about, for a second, Bitcoin.com. They've launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or even meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. Now, we were talking about this article from Business Insider, which, of course, originally came from Vice, apparently, about an AI, an artificial intelligence, that has been named Weird AI Yankovic because it writes lyrics to existing songs and makes them into parodies. Now, I have no idea if these are funny or not. But
I mean, they're funny in that it's a jumble of words just kind of thrown down on a piece of paper.
But supposedly it matches syllable and rhyme. We'll find out about that in just a second. I wanted to say, though...
That's not the same as having any meaning, though.
Right. I wanted to say that as a parody artist, I've had... And I'm not even, like, well-known, right? You know, I'm underground as far as a parody artist is concerned. But I've had literally hundreds of people come to me and go, oh, hey, dude, I've got a great parody idea for you.
They give you two.
It's this. Yeah. And they'll just give you the title of the, or the main, you know, verse or chorus of the song. And they'll be like, yeah, you should write a parody to that. And it's like, well, okay, but that's not the hard part, right? The easy part is listening to the most popular part of the song or the most repetitive part of the song and making up something new to that. The hard part is matching words and syllables and rhymes to the rest of the song. And so just once, I would love for somebody to hand me a finished written parody song with all the syllables and rhymes matched to the original song and then go, here you go, Captain, happen. Do that one. So I know it'll never happen. But that's why this particular article intrigued me. Also, because I'm a musician, I spent 22 years playing in heavy metal bands in Seattle, Washington, plus doing parodies and a lot of other fun stuff. I am not a believer in IP. Right, that's
intellectual property.
Intellectual property, for those of you who aren't down with the acronyms. IP, which is copyright law, right? So as far as I'm concerned, if I make a piece of music and I put it on the internet, you want to use it somewhere? Go ahead.
Go for it.
You want to sample it somewhere? You go right ahead. Because to me, that's free advertising.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So,
and this was free advertising for Mark O. Rydell, who is the tech guy that wrote the program.
Correct.
That made this algorithm. Because if they hadn't taken down his song with a DMCA request on Twitter, then he probably wouldn't have gotten the news headlines that he's getting right now.
It's so messed up that, like, if you get in trouble with the law, that becomes free advertising. Like, I've seen this previously. I think it was either like Slade or Jackal, maybe out of the late 70s, early 80s, where like they didn't really have any fame, And then one day they decided to like roll up into like a Kmart parking lot with like all their band gear set up on a flatbed semi-trailer and put on a free concert. And of course the cops got called and they got a little bit of press locally from that. They videotaped the whole thing. Then they made a music video of them getting in trouble and getting arrested. And that is what perpetuated their eventual fame. And so as a person who, well, I don't like the idea of government, the institution of government, I find it odd that's how some people, that the crutch that they use to get to fame is by defying a law, and then that perpetuates their fame instead of just becoming famous because they did a good job. So it's a little weird. But you said you have an example for us.
I mean, if somebody gets famous for defying authority, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, from that perspective, yes, I agree with you. It seems like a gimmick to me, right? Which I guess I should be all for as a parody artist because parodies are just a giant gimmick.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like the cat farmer calling the wig weaver a hairball.
Yeah, that might be an accurate analogy. Nobody,
as Alf once said.
Yes, Alf does not believe in pornography because he does not own a pornograph.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, Ian, you said that you had an example of this AI's parody lyrics.
Well, so they mentioned this guy has a Twitter. It's Mark_Riedel, Riedl.
More free advertising.
Or Riedel. Anyway, he supposedly that was where it got taken down. This one song. He said the other songs though were left up apparently.
Yeah.
And there was one song, something Dancing with a Stranger. I wasn't familiar with that one, but I have heard of Oasis and Wonderwall. And so I'm looking here at and there's actually a few different Wonderwalls that he puts up on his Twitter. The most recent one, he says, I tried to get my neural network lyrics generator to sing a song about my cat. He says, I don't have a cat, but nonetheless. Apparently you can like put in, I'm guessing, some sort of
keywords,
basic words or whatever, some sort of subject.
Yeah.
And so here are the lyrics for Wonderwall but not Wonderwall. So what he's doing, by the way, and what got his video taken down, or at least what led to it, was he's generating a karaoke video to go along with the lyrics that the computer generates, and the karaoke video has the track,
right? So
the instrumental track backing it.
The algorithms on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all that are recognizing the music as copywritten material.
Correct.
And auto flagging it,
even though on the screen there are lyrics that are coming up that are showing different lyrics, but the sound is no different than whatever the normal song would sound like in the instrumental kind of version. So I'm just going to read the lyrics.
Yes,
I'm not going to try to sing them because I don't
Give
have
us your
music.
best Shatner spoken word.
He thinks he knows how to make tea or cookies for me to enjoy them. I know at 3 o'clock, and day my cat is me femme. I know my cat is fluffy when 7 in the afternoon comes around. I know my cat is at 5 o'clock in the morning and 7. I know he says hello to his friend is Harry McNevin. I know my cat said hello to all the people in New York and London. I know he says hello to all the people. You feel so happy and my name is Teeple.
I think Harry McNevin is a great band name. Thanks for coming out. We are Harry McNevin.
My name is Teeple, and the cat will say it when you're going to sleep now. I know my cat. Because if you put it in the vat, you will find it sitting in a pit. And that's the end of the it's a meaningless.
Wow.
I mean,
I prefer There's a Cat in a Kettle at the Peking Moon.
I didn't think that was going to be funny, but it was.
Yeah. Well, it's meaningless, so it's funny in that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just gobbledygook. I mean, it may be a little better than throwing a bunch of monkeys in rooms with typewriters or whatever, but not much.
I mean, yeah, okay, maybe. Let's do what we do here on Free Talk Live, and let's go to your calls and your thoughts. We have April calling from, I don't even know where this is. She's listening to 96.7. April, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hi, April. What's on your mind?
I love y'all's show. I listen to it every day.
Thanks.
Thanks. My main question is there's been a lot of talk and a lot of people talking about it, but it's this video called The Fall of Cabal. And a lot of it's about 2.5 hours long. It's like a documentary from this Netherlands reporter. about like the Satanists and Satanists and the child trafficking rings in America, and I just I didn't know if y'all heard about it or anything like that.
No, I when you said the fall of the wall, I was figuring it'd be like the Berlin Wall. You're saying this is not related to
No,
that?
it's fall of cabal.
Oh, fall of cabal.
Yes.
I have not heard about this.
YouTube removed it, and I even tried to Google it, and Google was not even pulling up anything about it. I had to go to BitChute.
Hold the line, April. We'll bring you back. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live. We've got more coming up. Harry McNevin.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MacTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
Today, many of us are paying attention to our health, and what we eat plays an important role. But so often the water we drink is a mere afterthought when it should be a primary part of our daily nutrition. Real Water would like to change how you think about the water you drink and how it can play an important role in helping your body restore balance and reach its full potential. The key benefits of every bottle of Real Water are stabilized negative ions, balanced pH, detoxification, and it hydrates you like never before. And yes, it tastes great. Real Water is beyond alkalinity, and due to its proprietary process called E2 technology, it's the only drinking water on the market that can maintain a stable negative ionization, which means real science in every bottle. Order your Real Water today and take advantage of special pricing for this audience only by calling 1-855-REAL-WTR or visiting buyrealwaternow.com. That's 1-855-REAL-WTR or buyrealwaternow.com. Order now, 1-855-REAL-WTR or buyrealwaternow.com.
Are you afraid to go to the mailbox because of letter after letter from the IRS? Are they stacking on more and more penalties and interest? By now, you know the problem won't go away on its own. Don't let the IRS chase you to your grave with penalties and interest and liens and levies. You need real help now. I'm Dan Pilla. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I help thousands of people solve tax problems they thought couldn't be solved. I can help you too. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com. danpilla.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. Who stole nobody?
Nobody knows.
No, they stole nobody and replaced him with, well, nobody.
No one is here.
Oh, no one is here instead. Okay, all right.
Nobody will return.
Nobody will return, we think. Or will he? But before he does, I wanted to tell you that Intercoin's architecture enables programmable coins with a variety of applications. Merchants can add tags like books, food, clothing to their products, and authorized users can see statistics on how the money was spent. Experts can analyze the local economy. Donors and investors can have more confidence. Everyone in the community can have a real-time consumer price index to inform their democratic decision-making and address issues like rising prices or shrinking wages. Intercoin is attempting to regain some of our freedoms that are threatened on the internet and in meat space. We think that is important here on Free Talk Live, so important that Free Talk Live accepted $40,000 worth of Intercoin tokens from Intercoin Inc. in exchange for advertising. If you think freedom is important too, check out Intercoin at intercoin.org. You can invest in this project and potentially make big gains, or just be involved and perhaps shape its future. That's intercoin.org. And we're going to go straight away back to April, who was calling from, well, I don't even know where, but she's listening on 96.7 somewhere, and she was talking about it looks like a documentary called Fall of the Cabal. Is that right, April?
Yeah, it's Fall of Cabal. And like I said, it's every time it's posted on YouTube, it keeps getting taken down by their administration. Yeah. And
I see a copy of it here on YouTube. It currently has 482 views. It was posted April 25th. It is on a channel which it looks like a German name that I cannot pronounce. Kritsch Blieben. I don't know if I'm saying curse. I don't know if these are curse words in German, but Selbstdenken.
I hope you're not reading something out of Mein Kampf right now.
Or summoning demons.
The title of this is Fall of Cabal - The End of the World as We Know It - Full English. It's about a 3-hour movie. And it seems to be the one you're talking about, where they're getting into some pretty esoteric, pretty dark, kind of deep themes. You're looking at there's the Pizzagate thing gets covered in here. I saw some segments about that.
Yep.
And
that
Catholic
needs
Church.
Covered. Epstein didn't kill himself.
Sure did.
Catholic Church and so on. So I'm going to tell you that they haven't all been taken down. I was able to find this relatively quickly when searching for it.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I was looking for it, and I found it at BitChute because there's part 1 of 10. But
yeah.
The reason why I'm bringing it up is because, when I was researching it more, because nobody knew about it, international news stations are talking about it.
Really?
Like Turkey, they did a news story about it. Their reporters were reporting on it. And, there's, riots, all around, every other country but ours about it. So I just, I was like, well, Free Talk, maybe they know something about it, because usually you guys are on the up and up about it. But
I feel like I failed you, April. I've never heard of this movie, much less seen it, but I will indeed go ahead and give it a watch real soon.
Thanks for turning us on to it. That's how we find out about things.
Hey, you sound like you probably would enjoy The Vigilant Citizen. Have you ever read that blog?
I have not read that. I just got done with Out of Shadows. But yeah, I try, because I get real emotional, so I try to kind of limit everything to watch at one time.
So if you like going down these rabbit holes with the esoteric stuff within elite society, Illuminati, that sort of stuff, I got to say The Vigilant Citizen is probably my favorite blog. Not that I pay a whole lot of attention to it, but every now and then, it's not my favorite blog of all blogs, but it's as far as looking at the symbolism out there that is prevalent within pop culture and things like that. This sort of weird stuff that is really why is that there, kind of questioning this stuff. He does a lot of it over at vigilantcitizen.com, and he's been doing it for years and years and years. He'll take the latest video from whatever pop music star, Lady Gaga or whoever, and he'll just break down all this really weird esoteric symbolism, some satanic stuff, Illuminati stuff that's prevalent throughout these videos, and it's really interesting.
Yep.
Well, I mean, to me, it's not what they say obscurely that's interesting. to me, the most interesting quotes that you hear about things are things like Acosta, who was a member of the Trump administration, but before that, he was the prosecutor on the Epstein case, who gave him a sweetheart deal of a year in a non-jail jail where he could have visitors and where he could spend a lot of his time at his home. And Acosta said, well, they told me that he belonged to intelligence and he was above my pay grade and to just take the deal. He said, Acosta makes the statement that that's what he was told. But yet there's never been any further investigation.
Right, nobody
into
questioned
that.
him.
Why not?
Yeah.
Isn't that the sort of thing you
Case
want to ask
closed.
questions about? Like, who told you that?
There's no room for questions in government.
Is it policy to let the intelligence services do these things? And nobody's ever asked those questions except nobody, because apparently nobody cares.
Indeed. April, any final thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think that people are waking up. You know, it's all over TikTok. You know, have you guys heard of the user QAnon?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, QAnon is actually the one that was talking about the fall of Cabal, too. And that, you know, kind of got his account blocked on Twitter, too. So a lot of it is just kind of weird. And, you know, it's, yeah.
It's very weird stuff.
Yeah, when you come upon this kind of stuff, feel free to call us again. And thank you for the call tonight, April. We appreciate that.
There's no shortage of it. I don't know if you weren't calling every time she comes across this stuff.
Well, you know, if it's interesting. I mean, I'd never heard of it.
The thing is, it's interesting, but it'll lead you down a really dark road where things get really weird, and it really makes you start to question a whole lot of stuff. And to some extent, those rabbit holes can be dangerous because people can kind of get lost in them.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hesitate to tell people to get too deep into this stuff because it's easy to get pulled in and then become obsessed with it.
Sure, but I mean, if you don't, it's like the free speech thing, right? If you don't expose yourself to some of the bad stuff, right, you're never going to be able to tell the chaff from the wheat, if you will, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying don't expose yourself, just saying beware of this particular conspiracy world, because like it'll have you questioning some pretty serious things.
User beware, watcher beware. Your own personal discretion is advised.
Yeah,
which is what those
good
tags
to
should say.
question everything.
No, I think it is too. But at some point, you don't want to lose touch with reality. You know what I mean?
So I know for a fact, just segueing out of that call into this next call, I know for a fact that this man, his name is Dan, and he's a heavy metal guy. He has a band called the Branch Davidians?
Just Branch Davidian.
Branch Davidian. Well, Dan, you are on Free Talk Live. Welcome.
You guys doing?
Hey, what's on your mind?
Mark Edge. I spoke with Mark this morning.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, as you said, I'm in the death metal band Branch Davidian. We're a political band from Massachusetts.
Nice.
I expressed my interest in traveling to New Hampshire at some point, possibly discussing the problem we're having down here on the air. And he suggested that I call in tonight.
Yeah.
So here I am.
You're on the air now, so go ahead.
All right. As you know, we've got a self-appointed king down here right now named Charlie Baker. And I mean, no disrespect to anyone in this state. People have different opinions on the coronavirus, and that's their opinion. And I've done nothing but respect it. A lot of people have. But the people on both sides of this issue have to ask themselves this. People who are afraid of the coronavirus have to ask themselves, is this really what you wanted? We're 5 months into this. If you believe that the coronavirus is a threat, and that's fine if they believe that. I respect it. Are you prepared for a year of this?
Right.
2 years? It never ending? And all these people I know who simultaneously are against the forced vaccination. We'll get to that in a second. And the people that do think this is unjust, the restrictions, the napkins on the face, my issue with them is this. The whole talk show circuit down here, I hear it day after day after day.
Mm-hmm.
How Charlie Baker's a communist, this is a communist takeover, et cetera, et cetera. And these same people wander around the parking lot at the store, I see them do it, and they put that napkin on their face. If you can't even take a mask off your face, how do you think you're going to stop a forced vaccination? Right. Nobody here has done a thing. We have stopped nothing, not 1 inch of the way. So here's my conclusion. As far as the vaccination,
Hold that conclusion. We're gonna bring you back here.
Yeah, hang on the line here, Dan.
Stand by.
855 450 free. I agree with Dan, although instead of calling it the napkin, I call it the face diaper because I think that's a little more accurate because I know how filthy you humans are. We've got more Free Talk Live coming up.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for people to use it for everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that is as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,810, silver at $19.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have already devastated the world. Over 14 million people have tested positive for the virus, and nearly 600,000 have died since it was first identified in December. And cases continue to rise. But the human cost from the economic fallout could be worse than the virus itself, as the world plunges into a deep and possibly prolonged recession, which will lead to disease and starvation across the global south. MintPress News reports that's why the international charity, Oxfam, is calling on the international community to agree to its proposal of an economic rescue package for all. The package entails 6 key features that it hopes to lay out across the world. The consequences of inaction will be extremely serious. As many as 12,000 people could die every day from COVID-linked hunger, which is more than those dying daily from the virus itself. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department has been under scrutiny over the death of Elisha McLean for over the last month since it finally got the attention it deserved. Now, they are now facing yet another lawsuit after an officer with the department held a doctor at gunpoint on his own property for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Sea anemones are the most disgusting of all tidal creatures. Their thick tentacle arms are engorged with the collected urine that makes up much of tide pools. Whale urine, fish urine, otter urine, crab urine, all sucked up by the moon and deposited in these natural outhouses. Clownfish share a symbiotic relationship with sea anemones. The clownfish cleans the sea anemone. In exchange, the anemone sprays urine on the face of the clownfish. It's one fetishistic delight. Contrary to popular belief, sea urchins are not in fact animals. Indeed, they are not alive at all. They are simply the clumped-together leavings of the ocean's denizens.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Welcome back, everyone. Not just Cotter, but welcome back, everyone. This is Free Talk Live, the live Monday night edition, the Kick-Ass edition, if you will. And I am your host, the Reverend Captain Kick-Ass. Joining me in the studio tonight, it's
Ian.
And nobody.
And we have been talking to a man named Dan. And this man named Dan is the vocalist for a heavy metal band called Branch Davidian out of Massachusetts.
I love the name of your band, by the way.
It's a great name, Dan. You can hear us, right? You're back on the air?
Yep, I can hear you. Thank
Awesome. During the break there, I was just checking out some of your media. I see that you're on Encyclopedia Metallum. You have a Bandcamp page, which is branchdavidianofficial.bandcamp.com. And you also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Branch Davidian. So those are all pretty cool. You had called in and you were talking a bit about how, you're not agreeing with the lockdowns and the face diapers. Tell us more.
Well, what I was saying in conclusion was when the vaccine comes out, we are getting it. All the tough guys that are saying, not over my dead body. You had 5 months to stop this. And again, no one could take a napkin off their face or a muzzle, whatever it was you guys called it.
You're saying most of the people you're saying that most of the people down in Massachusetts who will talk a good game about freedom, they're masking up. They're doing what they're told. They're not even refusing 100%.
That. There's a local show down here. I won't say the name. I called in. And after I called, people flooded in agreeing with me. It's talk. It's talk. Now, you said about I don't agree with the napkin. What I'm saying is this. If you agree with it, if you think it's a safety measure or you're threatened by the coronavirus, that's fine. I don't dispute with you. What I'm asking you is, if you believe this is a threat, how long does this go on for? Are you prepared for the fact that your child is going to wear that thing and they're going to have to get a vaccine?
Right.
If you aren't okay with all this and you think it's wrong, then what if that mask has become the symbol of humiliation? It shows you who's the boss. You've been conquered. King Charlie down here, we're living in a monarchy right now.
Oh, yes.
And you're doing, if you really believe it's communism, then why are you putting, at the very least, all I'm saying to people is if you believe that, take that mask off. That's what you really believe. And I've respected people. I stayed out of the store.
You got to act like you're free if you want to be free, right? Like you have to push the boundaries. What was it? Power never cedes without a demand, I think is the old statement.
Power cedes nothing without a demand.
Yeah. And Dan, I'm with you on, if you have a medical condition, if you believe the mask is helping you in some way, you should be free to voluntarily wear a mask wherever you want to go. The problem that I have is when the people, the goons, the thugs, if you will, in the organization called government are forcing it upon everybody instead of allowing individuals to make their own decisions. That's where I have the problem.
Well, it's funny you say that because, as I tell people down here, your first hurdle before you can even deal with your leaders is your own people. Because I've seen situations where people, again, and you may think wrong. I don't want to give the wrong impression. I and so many like me have been sensitive and have shown respect to people. I told you, I'm against the mask law. I stay away from people. I stay out of the stores. I'm not here to hurt anybody.
Right.
But when you've got places of work, department stores, warehouses, restaurants, where in some cases you got hundreds of people, and you got one person complaining, well, guess what? Everyone's putting the mask on. My buddy got told to put one on when he was working in a courtyard in a field by himself. You got to get past your own people first. The problem down here is not our leaders. It's our own people. That's obstacle number one. I mean, leaders, my state rep down here.
They're not leaders. They're just people that want to tell you how to live.
Kathleen Lenatra doesn't I'm not going to say the town. She knows she's a state rep. She doesn't even know how to return a phone call. So that's what I think of her right now.
Oh,
Didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No. I mean, my opinion here is that nobody in any political office is there to serve or protect the general public.
Nobody is there to serve and protect the general public.
Thank you, nobody. They're there for their own purposes. They're generally, these powers of position attract the worst people in the world, the psychopaths, the sociopaths, the people who are in it for themselves, and they just want more power for themselves and less for you.
Yeah.
You guys know how many deaths we had today in the state?
0.
Close. 7. Our population's about to hit 7 million.
Yep.
7 people, 7 died, and guess what? When you break down those numbers, now I don't know the breakdown for today, but when it was in the 40s and 50s, sure enough, everybody but maybe 2 or 3 people were in a nursing home. It was all nursing home, fragile, elderly people, no disrespect to them. So you're talking 2 or 3 people dying a day. And guys, I just want to say quick, and I don't mean to, you've given me a lot of time. I appreciate it. I have no ill will towards anybody, any leaders or anyone like that. I don't advocate. You know, a lot of people are angry now because there are protests going on with violence and property damage. I don't advocate any of that. I'm a peaceful person. I'm just saying, if you think this is a communist takeover, then take that mask off. That's all I'm saying.
Excellent point. And Dan, thank you for the call today. If you want to find out more about Dan and his band, you can find him at Facebook.com/Branch Davidian. You can check out his death metal music there.
I'll tell you, if I was stuck in Massachusetts, I'd be thinking real hard about not being stuck in Massachusetts anymore.
Yeah, indeed. I can't imagine. I can imagine, actually, because, well, I have a whole bunch of friends, folks I consider family, out on the West Coast in the Seattle area, some down in the Portland area as well. And they are all just at their wits' end with, you know, what's going on there with the protests and the lockdowns and the masking, and also with the federal agents coming in their unmarked vans and unmarked fatigues, you know, dragging people off into their unmarked vans without any formal arrest and that kind of a thing. They're kind of, you know, having a hard time. And in some ways, I'm so glad that I'm here in New Hampshire. And if you're tired of all the crap that you're dealing with, maybe you should also consider a move to New Hampshire to be around other freedom-minded people.
And there's a lot of other weird stuff going on. You know, banks are, closing people's accounts and now keeping the money indefinitely if you trade in Bitcoin.
That's news to me.
Holding it sometimes for months. You know, all the different businesses are clamping down. It's like they're liquidating their reputations for the end game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems to me that would be a sign that cryptocurrency is winning.
Yeah, I think it is. And I don't know what it is now, but I heard that cryptocurrency was up to 11,000 today. Bitcoin specifically was up to 11,000 today.
Nice. I know Ethereum has bumped recently by quite a large percent. I got an alert that it was up 15% in one day or something, which is pretty amazing. I know there's been some others that have done other, rises and that kind of a thing over time. FIO was, doing pretty good for itself. I mean, it's still, pennies for a token, but it's still had its rises and that kind of thing. So
Bitcoin is up to 11,182 right now.
Yeehaw!
Up $1,200 in the last 24 hours.
Yeah. And for those of you listening thinking, oh, I should have got into Bitcoin way earlier. I can't get it. It's not too late. We're still in the early times. We are still in, it hasn't been, there hasn't been one industry that's said, okay, we're going to just start buying this stuff up. Right. There hasn't been a big buy-in to the cryptocurrency by any large source of media just yet. It's coming. Our large source of income or money, I guess. Somebody who's holding on to a lot of valuables will eventually purchase a boatload of cryptocurrency, of Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, whatever it is. And then you're going to see the price spike like you've never seen it before. We are still in early times. It is not too late to get into what I like to call the people's money. It was created without permission. Nobody asked they didn't ask any permission from any government entity whether they could create this thing or not. They just did it. The government doesn't like it and they can't shut it down. It's a permissionless money. It belongs to everybody and everybody should begin to use it. 855 450 free, like freedom. We have more Free Talk Live coming up.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. News from news.bitcoin.com. The IRS is requesting information about privacy cryptos from people that are still filing their income tax forms. Coinbase may be planning to go public on the stock market this year. Stablecoin Tether is now circulating on the Bitcoin Cash network. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies, getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com. Log on now at news.bitcoin.com.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret shaving oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils plus a hint of menthol was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Welcome back to Free Talk Live, everybody. It is the live call-in radio program where you can talk about, well, whatever you'd like to. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE for those of you who like to spell it out on your telephone. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the Reverend Captain Kickass, and I'm joined by...
It's Ian.
And nobody formerly known as Rich Paul.
And I wanted to tell you all that the next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at diviproject.org. That's DIVI project.org. So we were talking a little bit about Bitcoin and its rise. What was it at? 11,000?
11,100 something.
That's pretty good. Is that just in a day? Because was that?
It's gone up about $1,200 in one day.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, but it was like 91 for quite a while.
Yeah, not too long ago. Within the last week, Bitcoin BTC is up over $2,000, so up about 20% in just 1 week.
Nice.
Wow. Yep.
That is pretty amazing.
And a lot of the other
it's
cryptos
beating gold, isn't it?
Even as far as how quickly it's going up?
Yeah.
I wish I had a chart that showed me the percentage rise of gold, but yeah, it's probably beating gold.
Wow.
Good chance of it.
So
nice.
I wanted to just segue into this bit from the Daily Wire. The reason I wanted to segue into this is because last Monday we covered a story about a federal judge whose house was knocked upon by somebody dressed in the uniform that appeared to be of a Federal Express type employee carrying a package or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And upon the door opening, this person shot and killed the judge's son and then also shot and injured the judge's husband.
Mm.
And that is newsworthy in and of itself, and it was sort of breaking news. I think it had happened just the night before or that day.
I think it's tragic when the family members of these government goons get taken out. It's not their fault. The kid was just born into that situation. Whoever he is. I mean, he may be a bad kid. I don't know, but he got shot to death for ostensibly what his mother was doing. Right.
Ostensibly,
the judge.
That seems to be the case. And the reason I say that now is because since Monday, we have learned through the news that this judge had been assigned to the Epstein Deutsche Bank case just last week.
Oh, isn't that special?
What a
Who
coinky
assigned
dink.
her to that? Could it have been Satan? Beelzebub? The Prince of Darkness?
The almighty god of the underworld, Satan?
Does it talk about what this case is exactly?
Let's find out.
It's a case that's investigating Deutsche Bank's failure to flag some very suspicious things that Epstein was doing. Now, on the one hand, they shouldn't have had to, but on the other hand, it's really interesting that all these laws that apply to you and me don't apply to Epstein, it appears.
Right.
Because, he's attached to intelligence, as Acosta said.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay. Judge Salas, the judge in question here, was home during the attack. This is news to me. I didn't know this.
So they killed family members, but not the judge herself?
Right. And so Salas was home during the attack, but not injured as she was in the basement, according to a judiciary official who spoke anonymously to the AP. But to try and answer your question, Ian, as reported by the New York Times last week, Judge Salas was assigned to a class action lawsuit a group of investors filed against Deutsche Bank, contending that the firm failed to flag questionable transactions that were made from the account of the financier Jeffrey Epstein, who died last August, allegedly while in jail awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. So this judge was assigned to a class action lawsuit that a group of investors filed against this bank, contending that they failed to flag Epstein's transactions.
I don't know. Still, that tells me a little bit. I'm not expecting you to know anything about this, but it still doesn't really explain to me what exactly they are alleging here. I mean, the fact the bank didn't flag certain transactions, what did that lead to on the part of these investors? And are the investors in Deutsche Bank? Or are they investors in something that Epstein had put together?
Well, let's see. Quote, this month, Deutsche Bank agreed to pay a $150 million fine for compliance failures in its dealings with Epstein, a convicted sex offender, as well as Danske Bank Estonia and FBME Bank. The Financial Times reported this. A few days later, plaintiffs led by Ali Karimi filed the lawsuit that is being overseen by Judge Salas. So it sounds like a countersuit or an additional suit.
I don't know.
The U.S.
If
Marshals...
they're paying fine for compliance failures, that fine's going to go to the government, I would think.
I would think so, too.
Yeah, but did they say it was a shareholder suit?
Said investors was
Investors,
the term.
right, yeah. Not necessarily
it sounds like a
but-
shareholder suit,
Yeah.
where as shareholders of
It's
a
class
company,
action.
you can sue them for failing to exercise
their responsibilities.
Good business judgment, basically.
That sounds exactly like what this is.
Okay, that could be.
So the U.S. Marshals and the FBI have already launched an investigation into the attack. The FBI is investigating, blah, 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 federal agents, yada, yada. So basically, the thing, I find it weird that, we had this news. We had that, a judge's family had been shot. Her son had been killed. It was done by a guy in a FedEx costume who was later found dead, apparently of self-inflicted, or allegedly
and
of
he
self-inflicted
himself was a
gunshot wounds.
lawyer. So this wasn't just some loser. It was a guy with, he was one of the anointed ones, one of the privileged.
Yeah, but what none of the news outlets mentioned until days later was that this was somehow connected to this lawsuit, connected to Epstein and his money.
And they still haven't mentioned that Epstein didn't kill himself.
They have not, or at least not officially anyway. The meme lives on.
Yes.
The meme lives on.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted...
sitting on a beach somewhere in Tel Aviv, I would guess.
Federal court records show that Salas had presided over several high-profile cases, including the financial fraud case of Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa and Joe, I can't pronounce her last name, CNN reported. She also handled the 2018 sentencing of Farad Rowland, who was found guilty of federal racketeering charges and sentenced to 45 years in prison. Rowland was the leader of the Southside Cartel, one of New York's most violent street gangs. So there are many connections that this judge has. Obviously, when you're a judge, you're going to be, making judgments on some things. But I just found it weird that this was connected to Epstein, and nobody seemed to notice.
Nobody did.
855 450 free like freedom. More of Free Talk Live and your calls and your thoughts coming up.
The young lady from the rescue delivered happy, and I panicked. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, and I thought, what did I get us into? The cause of his issue was poor nutrition. It was neglect. The other owners didn't care enough about him to give him the nutrition he needed, but I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite. DINOVITE.com. I ordered the first 90-day supply, and within a couple weeks, his skin started clearing up. He didn't smell. He had more energy. He just had a glow and a bounce about him. We've been using it for the last year, and Happy the rescue dog is Happy the healthy dog. I tell all my friends who have rescues to give their dog the chance at a new start with Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
It's going to pay off for you and your dog for years to come. DINOVITE.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live, your favorite Monday night radio program where you can call and take control of the airwaves. Our toll-free number here, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. And we'll be getting to your calls and your thoughts momentarily. But I wanted to tell you that for years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses, and we're helping build one. It's called Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community. At its core, it's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social network so you can connect and share with others. Use of Liberty.menu, however, is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. That's Liberty.menu. So I have something else that I wanted to talk about. It's basically how the government literally gave their citizens a crap sandwich at some point in space and time. But before we get to that, let's go ahead and go to your calls and your thoughts. We have somebody who prefers not to give their name calling from Portland. Hello, anonymous caller. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, you're on the air.
Yeah, I've been going to the protests semi-frequently, and I just wanted to give my experience on like the political ideology and the police actions there.
Yes, please tell us.
I've noticed
tell us
that,
about what happened.
Yeah, so I just want to go into like the actual just the people, the group of people there.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. Like the media kind of portrays them all as like Marxists, but from my experience, there's like a small segment of Marxists that seem to act as like accelerators, but the majority of people actually seem to actually be fairly libertarian. Like I was actually talking to an Antifa person.
Mm-hmm.
I identified myself as like an anarcho-capitalist. I was kind of just talking about how like markets themselves are kind of like socialistic in the sense that they redistribute wealth. They're kind of regulatory.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually tried to recruit me into like one of their organizations as like an organizer.
Huh.
And so like just talking to people, a lot of them seemed like kind of like unideological or just like heavily libertarian leaning.
That's the first I've heard of that kind of thing. What else did you see like firsthand? You've been there. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, so like I went to a few times when it was just the local police handling things. And local police, for example, you have like a federal building, and then you have like this fence around it. And the protests have been just like basically just like protesting the federal government and Black Lives Matter. And occasionally there's like this movement to rip down the fence. And when the local police were dealing with it, at most they would tend to they would do some police brutality, but they tended to sort of like just gas the fence area.
Mm-hmm.
But like as the federal agents have moved in, they've kind of resorted to just indiscriminately attacking all the protesters. So if someone throws a bottle, they'll just use it to gas the entire block basically, or more than one block basically, and just indiscriminately shoot a bunch of people.
So
and they seem to kind of antagonize shit. Like I was
you gotta drop him.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
You gotta drop him. Yeah, hit it twice because you're way too late. You gotta hit that twice. Did you do it twice? Yeah, you gotta. If it's taking you too long to get down there, you gotta hit it twice.
Yeah. I was trying to get up to the drop button. Yeah, sorry about that, anonymous caller. Unfortunately, we are ruled by the FCC still, and there are certain words that you cannot say on the radio. Amongst them are, all of the George Carlinisms. And that's too bad.
Doesn't say anything about that in the First Amendment either.
Yeah, I know. It's too bad. I was looking forward to hearing more about his firsthand experience. I find it interesting, though, that he was able to recognize federal agents amongst the regular crowd control, the Portland police, arguably, and their SWAT teams and that kind of a thing. So I wanted to ask him more. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on there, and we really haven't heard a whole lot from anybody about it. I mean, there's been some stuff in the news. That's the first caller that I think, at least I'm on 6 days a week here, and that's the first caller I've heard really talking
from
anything.
Portland, or
yeah, from Portland or anything going on out there. There's an article that I found over at Drudge Report talking about America's major cities are being turned into war zones and predicting that it's not going to end even if a Democrat, or Biden rather, is elected in November. That they think the author here believes that it's going to continue.
I mean, I
don't think Biden's going to help anything in the world.
I don't either. It is surprising to me to see how long these protests go on. And I say that because
59 days apparently in Portland.
That's a long time.
Every night.
How long did the Occupy protests last?
That went for a little while.
Yeah, was it a couple of months? Was it 60 days?
I feel like it was a few months.
Yeah, I feel like it. Well, and some longer than others.
Good
of
question,
course,
though. I don't know offhand.
But I do find it interesting that these protests go on, because I have nothing against protesting. If you don't like something and you want to go protest, right? I have nothing, but I don't protest because I haven't seen a protest actually affect anything of any monumental, achievement. Right, in my time, right? The Occupy protests, what did they accomplish? Anything? They
I've seen some things achieved by protest.
Such as?
You can go out on the Keentown Common and drink beer and toast the police as they drive by at midnight, and they keep driving. Because they showed up for the 420 rallies years ago, and it turned out very badly for them.
Okay, I sit corrected. I guess I have seen protests do, well, at least something. But as far as major change is concerned, I've seen no laws changed because of protests. I've not seen any real shift in mankind's focus on the evil that is committed by these thugs in these positions of power known as politicians.
And there's very little that's changing as a result of what's happened so far. In the Minneapolis, Seattle. Here's a story from Oakland where the AP is reporting that a protest there resulted in fire being set to a courthouse building.
See,
windows were smashed.
That's good aim, guys. You're so long as they're burning down police stations and courthouses, I say more power to them.
Take down these monuments of slavery.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they are.
I know.
And, I think it's wonderful, and I'm glad that there are at least some libertarians out there armed and helping them.
For our listeners
I'm sad to say that one of those people was killed in Austin recently.
Yeah, and I don't have his name in front of me, but I did hear the same thing you did. For our listeners who don't know, can you describe how these courthouses and police stations and government buildings are monuments of slavery?
Well, I mean, basically at the end of the Civil War, slavery was made, and really throughout the 20th century, more than that, slavery became eternal as we all were forced to become taxpayers. What is a taxpayer but a part-time slave? If you're working and the benefits going to somebody else, then you don't have any choice about that, then you are enslaved to exactly the extent of your tax rate.
Right.
You know?
And it doesn't matter if it's 15%
can't,
or 20% or whatever your tax rate is. I'd argue that you're taxed at about half of your income in the U.S. in general. But certainly, if somebody takes 100% of your life's effort, that is, what we know as, slavery, right? Overt style.
And it's not just straight up taking it. It's also making you use it in ways you don't want to.
Right.
If you are dealing with a bank that you consider to be your enemy because your friends aren't permitted to do business, then to the extent that inconveniences you, you've been enslaved,
Right.
Your rights to control your stuff have been taken from you.
And so if taking 100% of your life's effort is slavery, at what percent is it no longer slavery? Is it 50%? Is it 25%? Is it 5%? I say zero.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as part of your life's effort is being taken from you by force, you are a tax slave. 855-450 free like freedom. We've got more of your calls and your thoughts and more Free Talk Live coming right up.
With gun theft on the rise, it's crucial that law-abiding citizens hide their guns from criminals who are now becoming desperate. Learn exactly how with the newly updated Hide Your Guns e-manual, written by a former U.S. Special Forces officer who now reveals his field-tested secrets. Whether it's sneaky ways to hide your guns in plain sight or using extremely clever hiding places that even skilled thieves will never suspect. Learn how to hide other valuables too, like cash, gold coins, credit cards, so that they're safe from thieves but back in your hands instantly when needed. All this week, get 4 free bonuses when you order. Gun Debate Bootcamp, How to Argue with Liberals About Guns and Win Every Time audio program. Our No BS Home Defense Report, the best-selling Your Home, Your Fortress e-manual, and a special mystery bonus worth $25. Go to hideyourguns.com. That's hideyourguns.com. Don't let your guns be stolen and used in a crime. Go to hideyourguns.com.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our made in the USA microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part? Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Coming up a little later, the 10 best careers for someone at your level of attractiveness.
Oh, but right now we have something truly incredible for you. Kenneth Quinn is a real-life psychic medium who claims that he can communicate with dead acquaintances. He's written a new book. It's called Small Talk from Beyond, Speaking with Distant Relatives and Friends of Friends Who Have Passed.
Hi,
Good
Kenneth.
to see you. Now,
Thank you.
Kenneth, you've written that you're able to connect people with the spirits of their old college professors or roommates that they didn't really know that well. When did you realize that you had this gift?
Well, it was the day after my cousin's friend's wife's funeral. I was at home and I suddenly felt a presence in the room with me. And I heard a voice say, "It's Vicky Salchek, Dale's wife."
Wow.
We made a Tim's birthday thing a while back, and we talked about how hard it is having a cat.
Fascinating.
This has been so amazing.
This has been fabulous. Thank you, Kenneth Quinn, for being our guest. Stay with us because coming up next, we're going to show you how to lose some of that excessive weight by constantly picking at your skin.
This is the Onion News Network.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live, your favorite live call-in radio program, where you can call in, take control of the airwaves, and talk about, well, anything you'd like to talk about. It's called Free Talk Live. We only have a couple of criteria. One, try and be interesting. And two, no cussing, no bad words. Can't do that because we are on the radio, in addition to our live streams, which you can get over at lrn.fm or freetalklive.com. And we also have a Discord server, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm if you'd like to jump in over there. And, of course, our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. With you in the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And let's just go right away to your calls and your thoughts. And let us start out with... we have the Christian Anarchist calling on our AMP-only call-in line over at discord.lrn.fm. Gene, you're live.
Hey. Yeah. Hey, a while back there was a BBC gal there doing a bid on FTL, and she and I'd called in and took the position that the economic issues associated with the lockdown would be killing
killed his internet connection apparently.
People and how it's a selfish position for us older folks.
You're gonna have to start that over, Gene.
Said that it would be.
We lost you.
Yeah, you dropped out there for a second. Can you recap?
Yeah, a couple months back, when the BBC gal was there doing a bid on FTL, and she asked why I take the position that economic issues associated with the lockdown would kill people, and how it's a very selfish position for us older folks. Because that's me. I'm in the high risk category.
Okay.
For us older folks to take a position that because our lives might be in danger, therefore all of you have to suffer. And I said it was going to kill people. And now, after all this time, we're finding that there's a UN report saying that there may be 10,000 children per month dying of starvation due to this. The economic problems associated with not the virus, but our reactions to the virus.
So the lockdowns and that kind of thing, the fact that distribution has taken a hit, the fact that restaurants were closed, and other food distribution agencies have obviously cut their things in half. We saw people throwing away food and all that kind of stuff because they couldn't get it shipped in time before it spoiled. Things of that nature. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
That and the just the fact that people have lost their jobs, and the economy is no longer flowing like it was. The trade has been slowed down and restricted to the point where we've seen shortages of stuff that we've never seen shortages of before. And as bad as it is here in the U.S., which isn't really all that bad, imagine living in places like Africa or certain South American countries, or places where you're in a small village that all they did was manufacture one little widget and send it off overseas, and now all of a sudden that's completely shut down.
Right. I just want to say it one more time. How many children? 10,000 per day?
This is a UN report that claimed 10,000 per month were suffering and dying of starvation. Now, I don't know whether that number is accurate. I suspect it probably isn't. But the very fact that one per month were starving just to protect an old fart like me, I don't want that to happen. I'm not that selfish.
Right.
I don't want to say that, so that I can live 6 more months longer, I want little children around the world to die. I mean, how selfish can you be?
If it saves one child's life, isn't it worth ending these stay-at-home orders and mask orders?
Well, yeah, I think it is. I mean, this is the no matter how many people are dying, and the number is whatever the number is, and we'll never know the accurate number.
No.
We're not going to ever have that information in front of us because they're so inaccurate in all of their testing and the death certificates and everything else. But we do know that the economies around the world are suffering, and we do know that whenever you have people that are on the lower economic levels and the economy goes to crap, those people suffer more than anybody else. And those people are not getting their medications that they need. Some of them are dying from that. Those people aren't getting the proper nutrition they need. Some are getting sick or dying from that. So, and so, a lot of them are committing suicide because of the economic pressure that's being put on them.
Yeah, we haven't heard a lot about the suicide numbers. It seems everybody is engrossed with how many people are dying of, the coronavirus or attributed to the coronavirus, depending on how they're categorized. But yeah, we've heard very little about sort of the rest of the repercussions. I mean, we know here in the U.S. at the peak was 45 million unemployed within 12 weeks, and that's 1/5 of the workforce, which is we haven't seen the fallout of that economically yet.
I saw people today arguing about wearing a mask in a store, and this is the dumbest thing because all of the previous studies before coronavirus said that these masks were very ineffective. If they are effective, it's such a tiny amount it can't be measured. So now then they came out with one in March that said, all of a sudden masks are suddenly effective for some strange reason.
Right.
Well, there's another study just came out a month ago, and it's in one of these journals. I can't remember which one but it's a respected journal that's published a new study.
New England Journal of Medicine, maybe?
It could be, okay. Yes. And now this study agrees with all of the previous historical studies, and it says that the effectiveness of masks are so they're not understood. It's not understood, but it is understood that if there is an effect, it's very small, if anything. So this mask stuff is just crazy. I'm almost.
Well, you
I'm
obviously
68.
hate people, and you want them to all to die if you don't wear a mask.
Yeah.
I'm 68 years old, and I've never seen anything like this in my life. And
I know.
I guess I'm glad I'm checking out soon.
Right.
You guys are gonna have.
We got to live through this crap.
You're gonna have to deal with all this insanity. But I feel sorry for my children, my grandchildren, and everybody
this sucks.
else.
2020 is the worst year as far as I think I've seen in my entire life. I mean, it is just so sad.
I haven't seen it in my entire life, anything like this.
Well, and we know historically that the governments around the world have not had a reaction to any of the other coronavirus families that have, sort of had their day of outbreak. Many of them were far more deadly than this one when it comes to deaths thus far recorded. And at no time did any government react in the way the governments have this time. And to me, that is a big red flag, a huge red flag.
Yeah, you do the math on any of the numbers, even the inflated fake numbers they're putting out. You still, if you do that math and you divide it up by the population, you've got a much better chances of having a branch fall off of a tree and crack your skull than of dying of the coronavirus.
Better be careful, Gene, or governments will start mandating hard hats with that kind of talk.
Probably will.
All right, Gene. Well, we appreciate the call tonight. Thank you so much. It is so, I don't know. It's disheartening in a lot of ways. I'm trying to find, bits and pieces of hope in the whole thing, but just everybody being so ruled by fear, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see everybody being ruled by fear. I see the big corporations pushing fear, and I see some of the Karens going along. But then, like yesterday, when we went to Local Burger, I was looking across the street at the street scene and looking at the people in the Local Burger, and there were like 4 or 6 people with masks. Nobody else had them, and I'm talking Earth people as well as libertarians. So, I don't think, and mostly when I do see people with a mask, I see people with a mask in their hand, putting it on their face as they go into the store because the store demands that, but not being that worried about a mask except when they're in the store.
You can't legislate proper mask wearing, right?
Oh, yeah, they can.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could,
they
but
can
enforcing
legislate
it...
whatever they want. They can't enforce it.
They gave a $110 ticket to a guy in Miami the other day for having it below his nose.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Do you love your face diaper?
They have a 39-strong police force targeted on just mask enforcement in Miami.
Yeah, I heard that they were forming some sort of new alphabet agency just for mask enforcement.
They're in plain clothes, some of them.
There's reasons I'm
Undercover.
not in Miami.
Yeah. Free Talk Live. We've got more coming up. 8:55, 450 free.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had gotten involved sooner? Well, now's your chance to be part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value. That's because every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network must put all transactions into a block, and that block can only hold so much. If crypto is to become mainstream, for everyone to use it in everyday payments, we need a new architecture, one that's as secure as Bitcoin while being far more scalable. Check out intercoin.org to find out more and maybe pick up some of those coins for yourself.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,810, silver at $19.65, and Bitcoin is trading around $9,132. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, the consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic have already devastated the world. Over 14 million people have tested positive for the virus, and nearly 600,000 have died since it was first identified in December. And cases continue to rise. But the human cost from the economic fallout could be worse than the virus itself. As the world plunges into a deep and possibly prolonged recession, which will lead to disease and starvation across the global south. Minpress News reports that's why the international charity, Oxfam, is calling on the international community to agree to its proposal of an economic rescue package for all. The package entails 6 key features that it hopes to lay out across the world. The consequences of inaction will be extremely serious. As many as 12,000 people could die every day from COVID-linked hunger, which is more than those dying daily from the virus itself.
Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department has been under scrutiny over the death of Elisha McClain for over the last month since it finally got the attention it deserved. Now, they are now facing yet another lawsuit after an officer with the department held a doctor at gunpoint on his own property for no reason. The Free Thought Project reports Dr. P.J. Palmer, who is an Indian American, was dropping off gear from a Boy Scout trip at the Mango House building, which is a community center and shared space for refugees that he owns. For those who may be unaware, Palmer founded Artist Family Medicine, a private practice that serves settled refugees, and Mango House, a home for refugees with activities and services that include dental care, food and clothing banks, churches, scout troops, and after-school programs. He's a pillar of the community and a selfless man who has dedicated his life to helping others. U.S. Customs and Border Protection published a new assessment titled Privacy Impact Assessment for the CPB license plate reader technology, outlining the agency's plan to combine its database on license plate images with ones from local and state governments, law enforcement agencies, parking garages, toll booth cameras, and financial institutions. Activist Post reports the U.S. has a massive network of automatic license plate readers typically found on police cars and toll booths, used to collect license plates of vehicles passing by. In particular, one database, called the Wrecker Public Safety Network, law enforcement are given real-time access to license plates. It captures approximately 150 million plate reads per month. To better protect the nation, the CPB's new assessment indicates it now wants direct access to those databases. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
You are nothing more than the reflection of a grim, pitiless world, and this is The Onion Week in Review. Following the Supreme Court's ruling on same-sex marriage this week, overjoyed gay couples in Florida rushed out of their homes to have their marriages denied to them. Homosexual couples throughout the southern state told reporters they were ecstatic over the landmark decision supporting gay rights and said they couldn't wait to wait in line and have their requests to be wed rejected by their home state. And in science news, scientists probably discovered a frog or something. They're always doing that sort of shit. In other news, an 8-year-old boy surprises his Marine father during a firefight in Afghanistan. Johnny Depp is now physically unable to walk unless whimsically teeter-tottering across a rolling log, wobbly plank, or swaying beam. And Silvio Berlusconi is transferred to a steamy, all-female penitentiary. If you're seeking a celebrity interview, stay away from that bastard Tobey Maguire, who apparently can't even pick up a phone to say he has a schedule conflict and won't be able to make it into the studio. For more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Indeed, it is Free Talk Live. You can have all sorts of fun over at freetalklive.com. You can check out the archives of all of our past episodes, and I believe all of them are up there.
Almost.
Almost. Nearly all of them, and they go quite a ways back. So if you've missed any of the fun, feel free to pop over there. Our toll-free number here tonight, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. I am your host this evening. My name is the Reverend Captain Kickass, and I'm joined by...
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And let's just go right away to more of your calls and your thoughts. We have problems with a mouse. There we go. We have John. Looks like he's listening on D-Live. John, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? Basically, I was just going to make a point that, as most of us probably know, a lot of conservatives are liberals from 5 years ago, I guess you could say. But
okay,
what I was going to go into is Charlie Kirk, a man who is retweeted by Trump a lot, happens to have some positions, including he thinks that Japan is not multiracial enough. Because I think they're, 98% Japanese? I don't know. Maybe somebody else has the figures.
Okay.
But not only that, that's kind of weird. I don't know. It's they're just a good country doing whatever they're doing or what. I don't know if they're good, government-wise, whatever, but they seem nice. But not just that. Also, Charlie Kirk, I don't think Trump should retweet him if he's bringing gay people on stage and saying that our party's about gays. I understand if you accept somebody for being gay and coming to the Republican Party or being conservative, but coming on there and literally promoting it is pretty bad. Michelle Malkin actually talked about it, but I thought I'd bring notice to it. And I just think we should just really, it's not like we should just be mean to all of our fellow conservatives, but we should shame them when they're not
Well, I'm not a conservative, so I don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a libertarian. My experience with conservatives is that they obsess about other people's sex lives, and they want to impose their will on people as much as the liberals do. I'm a libertarian in that I don't want my will imposed on anybody. I don't want anybody harmed in my name.
Well, yeah, I'm closer to libertarian. I say conservative kind of for a general thing because really conservatives, quote unquote, really don't conserve anything. I guess real conservatives do, I guess you could say. I don't know. I guess libertarians.
Well, I don't know. What does it mean to be a conservative?
Yeah, what does one conserve?
Generally, a conservative is opposed to change, and a liberal is in favor of change for change's sake, and a libertarian is someone who has a principle that says that liberty is important. So to me, there's it's a three-sided race.
Any other thoughts, John?
Doesn't sound like
not much.
All right.
Not
well,
much,
thanks for the
all.
call tonight, then, John. We appreciate.
Yeah,
I
never understood people who are so obsessed over what somebody else does in their bedroom. I just don't get it. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care either. I mean, as
long as it's voluntary.
As long as it's voluntary, right? You have the consent of the other person, and you both are in agreement, far out, solid, and right on. Do whatever you got to do. I may not like what you're doing. It might not be something that I would choose to do. But
It's probably not.
Who
I don't
the
care.
hell am I to tell you how to live your life and what to do and how to have fun and how to engage and interact with other people? I'm in charge of myself, and that's it.
The captain
as far as I'm
of
concerned.
yourself.
The captain
Nobody
of myself.
knows how you should live.
That is a fact. We have had instances where people concerned with how other people behave have caused some interesting things. And I say that because...
Nobody cares about that crap.
Well, perhaps not. But I say that because I have an article that I brought in from atlasobscura.com. I've never seen this website before until this article. But it says, to evade pre-prohibition drinking laws, New Yorkers created the world's worst sandwich. And it was created out of some new laws that were passed in the Prohibition area. It was everywhere at the turn of the 20th century, and it was also inedible.
Oh, boy.
So near the end of the 19th century, New Yorkers out for a drink partook in one of the more unusual rituals in the annals of hospitality. When they ordered an ale or a whiskey, the waiter or bartender would bring it out with a sandwich. Generally speaking, the sandwich was not edible. It was, quote, an old desiccated ruin of dust-laden bread and mummified ham or cheese, unquote, wrote the playwright Eugene O'Neill.
Was this because there was like a mandate that they had to serve food or something? Was it one of those things?
We're going to learn about that momentarily. Other times it was made of rubber. Bar staff would commonly take the sandwich back seconds after it had arrived, as if it were just sort of a prop.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And then pair it with the next beverage order and whisk it over to another patron's table immediately. Some sandwiches were kept in circulation for a week or more.
Yeah, this is definitely the doings of government.
Yeah, only government can serve you a crap sandwich like this, and only the doings of government would
only
get
government
bars.
can make them keep selling you the same crap sandwich over and over again.
Bar owners insisted on this bizarre charade to avoid breaking the law.
Nobody should eat that.
Nobody should eat.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Specifically, it was the Excise Law of 1896, which restricted how and when drinks could be served in New York State. The so-called Raines Law was a combination of good intentions, unstated prejudices, and unforeseen consequences, among them the comically unsavory Raines sandwich. So the sandwich type was named after the law, of course, that was passed. This is kind of along the lines of something I say about New Hampshire frequently. Since I've been here, I've discovered that in the largest context of legalese, the state of New Hampshire does not have bars on paper, right? So if you own an establishment that serves booze, beer, wine, and all that stuff, you don't have a bar, you have a restaurant.
Because you have to serve food.
You have to serve food in New Hampshire. So on paper, New Hampshire, the state, likes to pretend that it doesn't have bars because they're all restaurants that also have a liquor license.
Gotcha.
But there's no law requiring that churches refrain from selling booze. Is there?
Well, I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would say that the law prohibits anyone from selling booze unless they have a license.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that traditionally both Protestant and Catholic churches have been serving booze for generations here since the beginning of time.
But have they been selling it?
Still do it.
And even if it is being served, then arguably there is a case that could be made against them for that. And are they actually selling booze or is it grape juice?
Well, a lot of churches use wine for communion. Most of them do, I believe.
Yeah, the ones that I've been in generally were using unsugared grape juice. So it was
really,
because they didn't want to accidentally do something to somebody with alcohol, or give it to some kid
that
accidentally.
To us when we were children, but by the time, in the actual church, they served wine, I think.
Yeah, now, I don't know if you could, people donate to the church in some way, and then as they attend the church, part of the church's services or worship involves, consuming alcohol in some way. That might be something that there's no law about.
Yeah. Well, we could always have a Dionysus festival.
In the case of the Raines sandwich, though, this new law did not come out of nowhere. Republican reformers, many of them based far upstate in Albany, had been trying for years to curb public drunkenness. They were also frustrated about New York City's lax enforcement of so-called Sabbath laws, which included a ban on Sunday boozing. So they tried to make it illegal for you to booze on the Sabbath. Because,
that's probably still illegal in some states.
Because
Republicans love to impose their religion on others.
And every other day is just fine, just not on the Sabbath.
Sure.
What's wrong with you heathens? 855, 450 free. We'll talk more about this crap sandwich. Coming up, this is Free Talk Live.
The young lady from the rescue delivered happy. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby. The cause of his issue was poor nutrition. It was neglect. DINOVITE.com. We've been using Dinovite, and within a couple weeks, his skin started clearing up. He didn't smell. He had more energy. a glow and a bounce about him.
You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Got shaving irritation? Shave Secret Shaving Oil can help stop it. Shave Secret doesn't cost much and is an all-American product. My name is Chuck Howard, and I developed Shave Secret and pioneered its use starting back in 1991. Ingrown hairs drove me nuts for years. Shaving oil changed all that. Why put up with ingrown hair, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts? Shave Secret provides men and women with what we believe is the best shave ever. Our proprietary blend of 100% natural base and essential oils, plus a hint of menthol, was designed to help eliminate shaving irritations like ingrown hairs, bumps, red rash, nicks, and cuts. We'll lose those shaving irritations. Available at Super Walmart, H-E-B, Wegmans, Giant Eagle, Discount Drug, Navy and Marine Exchanges, Amazon, and ShaveSecret.com. Use the code FTL for Free Talk Live and get a discount. Shave Secret, the best shave ever.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live? Yes, it is Free Talk Live. You're in the right place for the live radio call-in show where you can take control of the airwaves and talk about anything you want. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
I'm Ian.
And I'm nobody.
And remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I'd go berserk? Oh, wait, no, sorry. That's lyrics from They're Coming to Take Me Away.
They're coming to take me away to the funny farm where life is beautiful all day long. And I can't wait till the nice young men in the Wayne hats because they're coming to take me away.
I meant to say Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. Do you want the newest and freshest stories and perspective on current events from those who value liberty? FreedomsPhoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. That's FreedomsPhoenix.com. I always wanted to do a heavy metal sort of cover of They're Coming to Take Me Away. I've never really worked it out, but it's on my mind. Perhaps one day I will attempt such a musical feat.
Fun.
Meanwhile, we've been talking about a crap sandwich. And I don't mean a sandwich made of crap. I mean a sandwich that's just downright unsavory, tasty, that nobody wanted, called the Raines Sandwich, helped to be created by some laws in New York just before Prohibition came into effect.
And it answers the question very beautifully. If the government was a sandwich, what kind of a sandwich would it be?
Be a crappy one.
Yes.
It'd be 2 slices of bread and a bunch of crap in between it.
Rancid. It'd be rancid.
Yeah.
Very rancid sandwich.
An ancient rancid sandwich that nobody wants to eat.
Right. Essentially, the bars would serve this sandwich whenever somebody ordered a drink to circumvent the ridiculous laws that were passed in that city. It didn't come out of nowhere. Apparently, it came from Republican reformers who were upset with public drunkenness, particularly on Sunday for some reason, you heathens. The New York Republicans spoke for a constituency largely comprised of rural and small-town churchgoers, but the party had also gained a foothold in Democratic New York City, where a 37-year-old firebrand named Theodore Roosevelt had been pushing a law and order agenda as president of the city's newly organized police commission. Roosevelt, a supporter of the Raines Law, predicted that it would, quote, solve whatever remained of the problem of Sunday closing, unquote. Of course, it solved nothing. New York at the time was home to some 8,000 saloons. The seediest among them were dimly lit, foul-smelling, rickety-chaired, stale beer dives. So nothing much has changed, apparently, since then.
Yeah, sounds like a New York bar to me.
They catered to vagrants, shipless sailors, incompetent thieves, and aging streetwalkers. Again,
New York
seems, like the same New York.
New York.
If you can make it
there, you'll make it anywhere. There's an aging hooker in New York.
The 1896 Raines Law was designed to put dreary watering holes like these out of business. It raised the cost.
That's what it was.
Yeah, listen to this. It raised the cost of an annual liquor license to $800.
Whoa! Now, what year was this?
1896.
Oh my God! That's like a fortune back then.
That's like 40 ounces of gold or something.
This is 3 times what it had cost before, and a tenfold increase for beer-only taverns. So it used to be like $80, and they were just like, no, we're going to jack it up 10 times the cost because we're government and we're here to help, apparently.
Wow.
It stipulated that these saloons could not open within 200 feet of a school or a church and raised the drinking age from 16 to 18.
Imagine how much better these bureaucrats could have served the world if they'd just jumped in a wood shredder. And, wow.
Politician shredder go.
Yeah, there we go.
Money printer go.
So in addition to that, it also banned one of the late 19th century saloon's most potent enticements, the free lunch. At McSorley's, forever, that's the actual name of the pub. McSorley's, for example, cheese, soda bread, and raw onions were on the house. The 160-year-old bar still sells a tongue-in-cheek version of this today, mostly for historical purposes.
Hysterical purposes?
Hysterical purposes.
Okay.
The most controversial of all was the law's renewed assault on Sunday drinking. Its author, Finger Lakes Region Senator John W. Raines, eliminated the, quote, golden hour, unquote, grace period that followed the stroke of midnight on Saturday. So apparently an hour after midnight, they'd still let you drink a little bit and close at 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, and this law eliminated that golden hour. His law also forced saloon owners to keep their curtains open on Sunday
to prove that no one was there,
making it considerably harder for patrolmen to turn a blind eye. The Raines Law took effect on April 1st, 1896. Progressives scored its first weekend in action a bone-dry success. Bars closed Saturday at midnight. The liquor flow on Sunday slowed to a trickle. Raines makes a thirst, a New York World headline quipped. But while the teetotalers celebrated over lemonade, plenty of booze-deprived New Yorkers were fuming. Behind this lifestyle tug-of-war lay a cultural conflict of national proportions. Those in favor of the Sunday ban, generally middle-class and Protestant, saw a cornerstone of social improvement.
And boring.
Yeah.
Karens.
Exactly. For those against, including the city's tide of German and Irish immigrants, it was an act of repression. Can you imagine a bunch of...
The Irishmen were mad?
And Germans, too. Like, what do you mean I can't have beer, right?
Oh, yeah.
An especially spiteful one because it limited how the average laborer could enjoy himself on his one day off. The Sunday ban was not popular, to say the least, among the city's Jews who already observed their Sabbath the day before. So they angered a whole bunch of people, is basically the point of that paragraph. Opponents pointed out that the existing Sabbath drinking laws were hypocritical anyway. An explicit loophole had been written into the law itself. It allowed lodging houses with 10 rooms or more to serve guests drinks with meals 7 days a week.
So the lodging houses probably took on a ton of people on Sunday.
Not incidentally.
But it had to be with a meal, hence the crap sandwich.
Yeah. Not incidentally, wealthy New Yorkers tended to dine out at the city's ritzy hotel restaurants on Sundays, the usual day off for live-in servants. So another illustration of government's famous, a law for you, but not for us.
Sure.
A law for you, but not for us. Law for you, but not for us. Intentionally or not, the Raines Law left wiggle room for the rich, but a loophole was a loophole, and Sunday was many a proprietor's most profitable day of business. We've got just a little bit more about this crap sandwich and how it came to be as a result of government and their wise ways. And I say that tongue-in-cheek. 855-450-3733. We've got more Free Talk Live coming up.
News from Bitcoin.com. Twitter hacked, Bitcoin blamed. NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace will soon have a Bitcoin logo on his car. Banks will make $18 billion in fees on COVID-19 relief funds. Bitcoin Cash still lets you control your own money. PayPal confirms it's developing cryptocurrency capabilities while still shutting down accounts of crypto users. Bitcoin.com is your source for getting started with cryptocurrencies, getting a wallet, buying Bitcoin Cash, mining, and all the latest cryptocurrency news at news.bitcoin.com. Subscribe to their channel on YouTube. Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Yes, it is Free Talk Live. The live Sunday night edition. Sunday night?
Not quite.
What day? What have you done with the captain?
I don't know.
Where did you put him? What day is it?
It's mutiny, I say.
My gosh. So anyway, it's Monday, and I'm here. I'm your host.
Keel hauled him.
I got so into this story about the government helping creating this crap sandwich that I forgot what day it is. At any rate, I am here, and in the studio along with me, it's
Ian.
And nobody.
And our toll-free number, of course, is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
Sometimes it's easier when you don't know what day it is.
I have no idea what's going on, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've paid a lot of money to keep myself from knowing what was going on.
Oh, wow, man. So we're going to talk more about this crap sandwich in a minute. But first, I wanted to say thank you to Robert Mayer. He is an amplifier of this very show that you're listening to. And that means that he has visited amp.freetalklive.com and decided to make a contribution. We only ask for $5 a month. And that contribution goes directly to getting this program onto more radio stations. We're currently around somewhere like 190 radio stations, depending on the day. And we could be on a lot more. It's up to you. If you enjoy our programming, if you like the Liberty programming that we're bringing to you, if you like the characters that appear on this show and our rotating cast of all sorts of types of people, please visit amp.freetalklive.com and consider becoming an amplifier to help make this program heard. So, we were talking...
I heard that.
We were talking about this article from atlasobscura.com is talking about something called the Raines Sandwich. And the Raines Sandwich was created by some legislation that was passed in New York. And we haven't quite gotten to...
Was this the state of New York or New York City only? Do you know?
It's unclear.
Okay.
I believe New York City only.
Gotcha.
But although they did say lawmakers from Albany far north were, so
that could
perhaps
be the
it
whole
was
state.
a statewide thing.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so far we've gotten to the point where we know that the government passed some laws to shut down drinking on Sunday. And then we know that they left some loopholes available for their rich friends, because that never happens in government. They never leave their rich friends alone, by allowing these businesses that had rooms, right? Lodging houses to serve booze, only if their patrons were, participating in renting one of those rooms. So the weekend following all of this, a vanguard of downtown saloon owners were gleefully testing the law's limits. And a suspicious number of these private clubs were founded that April. So all of a sudden, the number of these houses, these boarding houses, whatever they're called, all of a sudden, a whole lot more of them came into existence. The saloons started handing out membership cards to their regulars. This is similar to when the smoking bans started passing. People got around it by saying, oh, I'm a club. You pay your cover to get in. You're a member for the day, and now you can smoke in my private club rather than in my bar. So same kind of a thing, except, a long-ass time ago. They started handing out the membership cards, and meanwhile, proprietors converted basements and attic spaces into, quote, rooms. They cut hasty deals with neighboring lodging houses and threw tablecloths over pool tables. They also started dishing up the easiest, cheapest, most reusable meal they could get away with, the Raines Sandwich, or as I like to call it,
yeah,
the
and they
crab
can,
sandwich.
if the rooms are just these really cheap things that they just threw together, then they can also charge next to nothing for the room as well.
Right.
So then it's open to not just the rich, but anybody who can afford, a 5-cent room or whatever the cost was back in the 1800s or whenever this was.
Indeed. And so law enforcement declared itself satisfied. I would not say that a cracker is a complete meal in itself, but a sandwich is. An assistant DA in Brooklyn told an assembly of police as the first Raines hotels sprouted up. Remarkably, the courts upheld these definitions of meal and guest, which is unusual for the government. Reformers were understandably flabbergasted. The law itself was sound, Raines complained. It was the police and the courts that had made it laughable.
Well, that's it's a bit of a reversal of the typical situation. Normally, the police and the courts make the law even worse. Like these days, if they pass a thing, you see the interpretation on the part of the police being interpreted in even a wider swath than was originally intended by the lawmakers who passed it. But here, the reverse was the case, and it actually upset people that the enforcement was doing the opposite.
Right. No. He and his progressive allies had seriously underestimated just how far New Yorkers would go for a drink. The court decisions were a turning point. With summer approaching, Raines hotels sprang up everywhere. By the next year's election season, there were more than 1,500 of them in New York. And Brooklyn, still a separate municipality at this point, went from 13 registered hotels to 800 in 6 months.
Wow.
And its tally of social clubs grew tenfold, so that in addition to these registered hotels, the social clubs grew by 10x. For the libertines of New York City, Zach writes, the second half of 1896 was too good to be true and a drunken daydream. The hotel carve-out allowed drinks to flow at all hours.
Wow.
Backfire. There was no obligatory last call, and the city's liveliest drinking spots now offered cheap beds mere steps away.
So that's actually safer then in that particular case.
It's kind of like Uber doing more for, reducing the number of drunk driving accidents than government has ever
that's true.
done. So it's
correlation, not causation, but it is an interesting correlation that whenever Uber comes into a city, DUIs go down.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So for Raines and the law's other architects, this was the most alarming unintended consequence. Their efforts to make New Yorkers virtuous had caused a spike in casual sex and prostitution.
Wow.
So as you can imagine, those types of services made themselves readily available to all these new businesses that had sprung up.
Wow. I kind of wish they would do this again.
Would you eat the sandwich?
Not the sandwich.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. No, I'm with you.
I'd
I
get
bet you
myself
somebody
some
would
lap
eat it like on a
dances,
drunken dare, right? Somebody would get a little sauce. You'd be like, dude, eat the Rain sandwich.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of these things were eaten on bets.
The state government ratified a set of clarifying amendments a year later. The free-for-all atmosphere faded, albeit slowly. Still, for years following the passage of Rain's Law, a general state of confusion and case-by-case dealings reigned. Following a wave of enforcement in 1902, hotel proprietors arrived at a creative solution, charging a premium for the obligatory sandwich. The Waldorf Astoria went the classy route, offering unwanted meat patties instead, but the result was the same, a 50 or 100% markup to each drink ordered. The police seem to have appreciated the clarity of this arrangement. As long as Sunday drinking remained an expensive luxury, the Times suggested its excesses would be tolerated by the average upstanding citizen. And for many a Sunday drinker, even some of the poorer ones, the inflated tab was preferable to risking arrest in an illicit back room. Raines himself saw this as the only compromise that is possible in New York. The Raines Law tussle continued well into the 20th century. The New York Supreme Court ruled in 1907 that a Sunday meal must be ordered and delivered in good faith for the accompanying drinks to be legal. Under pressure, brewers started refusing to supply Raines hotels. A new state excise law,
they cracked down on the suppliers.
In 1917 contained a minimum room requirement that effectively prevented the opening of new ones.
But
these control freaks never stop.
As much as the brewers sucked up, it didn't prevent prohibition.
And we learn from the past that people seldom learn from the past. 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live. We've got more coming up.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. SilverLungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at SilverLungs.com. That's SilverLungs.com.
There's so much hand sanitizer on the market, but beware, not all hand sanitizers are created equal. That's why you want to use 2020 Safe hand sanitizer. You can trust the hand sanitizer on 2020safe.net to be made with the highest quality ingredients. American made with American ingredients, employing Americans. Log on now to 2020safe.net and order your 1 liter today. Normally $29.99, but reduced to $19.99. So hurry while supplies last and receive a bonus. That's right. You'll receive a 30-count bottle of Immune Booster, a $39.95 value, free by using code GCN at checkout. Right now, click 2020safe.net. That's 2020safe.net to get our 1 liter bottle of high-quality hand sanitizer with your free bonus. A 30-count bottle of Immune Booster valued at $39.95. Remember to enter GCN at checkout, and the bonus is yours free. 2020safe.net.
Have you ever thought about turning your Glock, XD Family, or 1911 handgun into a semi-automatic carbine? It only takes about 30 seconds. The MechTech Carbine Upper is classified as an accessory and can be delivered right to your doorstep with no FFL or background check required. It's the world's most versatile pistol accessory. Build your custom upper today. Simply go to handgunconversion.com. That's handgunconversion.com.
Do you ever say, I could care less, when you really mean the opposite? You mean to say, I couldn't care less. It's a common mistake. You are judged by how you speak, especially if you're looking for work, with so many more applicants than openings now. But even if you're not, avoiding common misstatements will help you make the most of the dozens of conversations and transactions that crowd your daily routine. So whatever you say, don't say whatever as a single word sentence. It's the most annoying expression in the American English language, according to a recent poll. And avoid cliches like the plague. Just kidding. But seriously, at the end of the day, you'll want to avoid this scenario, sounding like everyone else. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Where, oh, where does the time go? We are in the final segment already of tonight's show, and it has just flown by. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-3733. We might have enough time to get you on the air and talk about whatever you want. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Ian.
And nobody.
And we've been talking about this Raines Law and the Raines Sandwich. And I just wanted to finish this up because the last bit of this article states that the Raines Law debacle was merely a prelude for what was to come. New York reformers had long allied themselves with the Anti-Saloon League, a civilian organization with Midwestern origins that would morph into one of the most powerful pressure groups in the U.S. In all of history. And by 1919, the efforts of the ASL made nationwide prohibition the law of the land, putting an end to such quaint half measures as the Raines Sandwich and replacing the Raines Hotel with
because prohibition proceeded to cause the greatest crime wave in American history until the drug war came along and said, "Hold my beer."
Prohibition 2.0.
Indeed it did. So that is the story of how government helped create the crap sandwich, also known as the Raines Sandwich.
Who knew?
And we were talking, during the break here about how, history, it's repeated. Governments do the same thing time after time after time. They form some sort of organization to try and curb some sort of social ill. Then they don't accomplish that, so they have to reform their organization. Then they become self-justifying and have to figure out ways to keep justifying their organization so they can keep getting paid. And that, of course, results in your taxes going up and the problem never being solved. So that's how we have it.
There's no problem on earth that a little bit of government can't make worse.
If you want something done, with half of the fervor in twice the time at double the cost, why, government is your man.
It's true.
Let's go to your calls
They're
and your
really
thoughts.
good at killing dogs, though.
Yeah, right. Let's go to your calls and your thoughts. Andrew calling from Renton, Washington. You are on Free Talk Live.
Hey, first-time caller, short-time listener, and full lifetime freedom lover.
Awesome, man.
And
I don't know if you know, Andrew. I don't know if you know real quick, but I spent 22 years in the Seattle area. I know right where Renton is.
Well, God bless your soul. I'm glad you got it.
What's on your mind?
The main question, I just want to pick you guys' brains and see, what
they might not be
what
right.
Your opinion was. When I talk to people about liberty, there's a lot of people that they seem like they're open-minded to liberty, but then when you really start getting into the kind of the nitty-gritty, they kind of start to take sides on politics. And how do you, like when you talk to people, what's the best way to approach the situation of, I guess not really in the lines of like wasting a vote, but like, hey, your vote matters, but you got to start voting for the right person instead of just voting for the lesser of two evils.
Well,
how do you go about that?
I'm a poor person to ask that question because I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to vote specifically for presidents, much less, governors and that kind of a thing because, well,
oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, nobody, I'll probably vote for you.
Groovy.
Right? But only because I believe nobody should rule your life and nobody should tell you what to do.
I agree. I just want to live my life and be left alone.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
certainly,
I believe that we should vote as long as there are things to vote on. I would be very happy if there weren't any things to vote on, but as long as they're doing it, I'm at least going to register my opinion that you guys are idiots. And I'm going to do that by voting for somebody that I know won't win, but who expresses what I actually want, which is for nobody to be doing these things.
Well, what it sounds like, was it Andrew?
Andrew, yes.
It sounds like, Andrew, what you're experiencing is the wasted vote syndrome when a libertarian or a Green Party person or any third party advocate is trying to persuade someone who would likely agree more with one of these third-party candidates to actually place their vote with that person. And it is a tough syndrome to get past because people have been conditioned to believe that their vote is meaningful, but in reality it's not. I mean, statistically, at least on the national level, it's incredibly useless to actually vote one way or another. So that's another reason to actually, if you're going to vote for who you care about, vote for who most matches your belief system, because ultimately whether you vote for them or whether you vote for one of the two major parties is really not going to have an aggregate of an effect on anything, but it can make you feel a little bit better in that you would know, well, at least I didn't vote for Trump, or at least I didn't vote for Biden, I didn't vote for these people, I put my vote in somewhere where I can at least feel somewhat good that the person for whom I voted is somewhat of a match or even a greater match for my beliefs.
Well, I try to really express, the fact that you should vote on principle. And, I've never liked the two-party system. I don't even think we have a two-party system. We have a one-party system.
Oh, I agree.
And we have people arguing over the same thing. So that's my biggest hurdle, is trying to make people realize that you do matter, and our system they have tilted the wheel to essentially, go to one side or the other, but that's the only option you have. But I just want people to, think more principally and not feel like they're so pigeonholed onto the lesser of two evils, because the lesser of two evils is still evil.
It is.
That's a good point to make.
And you've got the right intention. And to try and help you out, I will tell you something that I've had a little bit of success with, and that is when you're talking to these people and you're trying to, say, hey, freedom's important, liberty's important, you need to look at it from a principled perspective. I've had a little bit of success talking to people after they have suffered some sort of attack by the bureaucrats, right? They've been, pigeonholed by the police. They've been sued for something that, they didn't do anything wrong. They've been otherwise attacked by bureaucrats for a non-crime, right? No victim, no crime, right? So nobody was harmed, not you, nobody. But if there was no person harmed or no property damaged, then that, in effect, is not a crime, at least according to maritime law and, laws of the ancients. So I've had some success when somebody is being attacked or just after they've been attacked by the bureaucrats for something. That's the ripe time because they're already hurt, right? And they're a little more willing to hear the arguments and view the evidence in a different light, particularly if you can spin it towards what they've just been through.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I feel like a lot of the arguments that people have on a just day-to-day basis, just like neighbors and friends that argue about politics, or not necessarily arguing, but just a heated discussion, But I feel like a lot of the things we're arguing about is because the government has been involved in so many social agendas. So there's So there's a lot of money that's being like one way or the other. And, you know, you might be for this side or for that side. And there's a lot of money that goes around on all these social agendas. And so people aren't actually arguing the principle a lot of times, but there's money that backs up their reason for thinking what they want to think. So
yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I feel like government involvement is a lot of the source of argument, because if we get down to the source of what we're arguing over, it's actually where the money's going. We don't argue about things, but it's just like where it's going. So, and how much it takes to do that. And that's where we get into arguments about stuff.
And if government isn't involved in a thing, each of us can do it our own way, and we have no reason to argue with each other.
Yeah, I find that there's a bit of a I find
Exactly.
there's a bit of a gang mentality too, right? Some people have picked the blue as their colors, their gang colors. Some people have picked the red as their gang colors, and no amount of evidence, logic, reason, or principled, performance would yank them away from their chosen gang colors, because they have picked a side, and damn it, they're going to stick with it. You know what I mean?
I think it's worth pointing out here that if you want to be the most effective at bringing people on board with freedom, you really ought to be in a place where other people are also on board with those ideas already.
Yes.
So you're not the lone voice in the wilderness shouting out. You're not the lone guy on the side of the road with a honk if you hate taxes sign or whatever. You're not the only guy within a certain geographic area. And it can be very lonely out there for libertarians. There's not a lot of us in one geographic place, except for New Hampshire, which is where we've had now more than a decade. There's been a migration of people here. In fact, that's how Captain Kickass got out of Seattle, was he picked up and moved to New Hampshire. And
it's a fact.
It was a good move.
Andrew, thank you for the call tonight. Indeed. And if you can, please do team up and join us here in New Hampshire. If you value freedom, you value liberty, you value personal freedoms, please join us. That's all we have for tonight. Thanks, everybody. freetalklive.com. Have a good night.
Remember when you first heard about Bitcoin? How long did it take you to realize this little project would soon change the world? Do you kind of wish you had got involved sooner? Well, now is your chance to be a part of the next revolution in money. Intercoin is working to finally make crypto go mainstream. It's designed to be scalable enough to support everyday payments and even elections without the state. Bitcoin was originally supposed to be a peer-to-peer cash system, the way we would all pay one another without having to trust any third party. But instead, over time, it mostly became a store of value.